Hello again, big hero friends. Today I wanted to join you with some split screen action and answer a few questions I've been asked. I'm going to go ahead and start some quests here, and then we will dive into the questions. For my newer player over here, I'm up to level 35 now. I've been grinding the heroic dungeons off and on, just trying to level up so I can show you guys some more flag content and just getting through Zone 2. I did just reach 10k gold, so I need to go to the shop now and get my experience boost. Again, we want to favor this over the item find at all times. So we'll go ahead and engage that. I did save enough money to get one ruin, so I'm getting 5% extra experience. I'd like to get one more, but it costs 10k gold, so I'm going to level up until I can easily afford another one. I'm going to jump into a quest over here, and then we'll answer some questions. As you can see, I have 2 dungeons opened. I did get up to heroic in the second one, so I'm going to do that one for better chance at better gear. So I always put the tanky guy in the very front and me in the center, because the people with the spear like to pick you off if you're in the back. Alright, so we're on our way. Okay, so one of the main questions I had was, what familiars should you be focusing on? I haven't really discussed that too much in my previous videos, so I'm going to pull up the Bit Heroes wiki right here. As you can see, I'll make sure the actual website is highlighted here so you guys can find that. Simple Google search of Bit Heroes wiki, and you can just search for familiars and fusions to figure out what dungeons these guys come from. But specifically, Shramps and Borland are the very first 2 I would attempt to capture on your own. These guys carried me all the way through Zone 3 and helped me even in Zone 4 to a point. Shramps will be useful even into the end game, and Borland is pretty amazing as well. He has a 1 SP ability right here, the spread heal, that is just very, very good for your team. He's a great healer, and he does a lot of damage as well for very cheap. Beyond that, if you want to move into epics as you level up, I recommend Squibbles is great. He kind of replaces Borland with a few extra stats. If you watch my PvP channels, you'll know that I like Quirk. He's really great. His 30% crit, and he has this Noxious Strike that gives you the ability to just target a specific enemy. Look at this. So we got a hero friend here that just got Borland today, and he agrees the heals are pretty good. Alright. So it looks like this dungeon is done. We'll start another one here, just to keep the grind going while we discuss further. Alright, so great. So here's a Gramps. Unfortunately, we simply don't have the gold. We could bribe him, but it's not that serious. I'm just going to wait and come back when I have some more gold to persuade him. Again, I'm never going to bribe anything unless it's a legendary. Epics are tempting, but unless you're paying money for the game, you're going to want to save these gems for later. That way you can bribe your first legendary pet, which is going to help you drastically in the game. So I'm going to go ahead and decline this, sadly. And if you do miss one here and there, it's not the end of the world. You get multiple attempts just forever. So, continuing on here, in addition to Quirk, I really liked, let's see here, Rollace for a tank. I currently have 2 of these actually, and I'm beating tier 6, level 110 in Gauntlet with 2 Rollaces. I simply use one in the front for a tank, and once he gets to about half health, I will swap the other one out and passively heal them with my pet. Corinus is also really great. I have him as a party member as well on my PvP team. As far as legendaries, they're all great. I currently only have Robbie, but if you do get the other ones, they're really great. Really great. Pretty much all of them. Pretty much all of them. So my raid team again consists of 1 Corinus, 1 Rollace, and 2 Quirks. And they all have the ability to damage target, which allows me to pick off an enemy easily and basically win the match in 3 turns. Again, I'm declining just uncommon pets. And you can tell they're uncommon by their name. It's green there. So as he mentions here, like if you're dying on a flag, I've mentioned this in previous videos, you simply need to go back to the most recent castle and gain 5 more levels. Sometimes on my new account, I will simply do heroic dungeons all day and not even attempt a single flag, just because I want to level up first. There's no sense in going through a flag and dying even one time if you can go to the heroic dungeon and just get gear and free XP. And don't forget too, you are going to need upgraded gear, and in order to do that, you're going to need the materials to do so. So for example, if I wanted to upgrade some of my stuff here, I can see that I need all this type of material to do so. And in order to get epic material, it's very easy to just go to the heroic dungeons and grind them, and you're going to get that type of gear a lot quicker than just grinding out flags and dying every other turn. Alright, we'll try some PvP over here on this guy. Still not up to 2k, so we can't persuade yet on our new character. As you know, I'm a fan of taking off 2 pieces of gear, even up to this level. Make sure my experience runes are in. And I'll show you my PvP strat here. So as you can see, this is my team. I have 1 Rollace, 2 Quirks. Whenever there's 5 players used, I use the other quirk-looking dude. And as far as schematics, you just grind the dungeon that you can find these guys in. Once you have the schematic, you can create them forever. Alright, so I'm going to play the PvP. I'm going to look at a few of these guys. I specifically want to look for the lowest health and make sure they don't have any epic or rare or legendary pets there. So it looks like 170 is about average. There's 155, but he has some evade, so we're going to ignore that. And this guy is legendary, so he's just out for sure. Alright, so we're going to go for this guy. He only has lifesteal. And nothing dangerous for runs. So here's our strategy. I'm going to decline Gak again. See, he's uncommon green, so I just don't care for him. When you're much higher level, you can come back and gather all these uncommon guys for fusions, but they're never going to make you anything that's worth harvesting in the game. Alright, here we go. Check it off auto. So this is a pretty good lineup. I usually go for the character first. Unless they have a lot of evade, then I would go for the lower health bull minion. Okay, so we have enough SP. We're gonna smack him. And this is why I picked the quirks, because they have Noxious Strike, and I can choose to just snap off this guy. Even Rollers has it. Okay, Alright, so my hero's getting really low, so I'm going to put him in the back where there's no damage taken yet. And of course there is now. Awesome. Alright, so still don't want the slug guy over here. Let's see. Alright, easy day. So we killed the hero. This guy may die, but that's okay. And we'll just go ahead and auto the rest. Oh, maybe not. Make sure this guy dies first. There we go. Alright, so, and as you can see here, I'm ranked top 100 in the whole server, so it's pretty easy. Over here on the new player, we're going to try a, let's see, I would try a flag, but it takes a little bit of concentration. I'm just trying to show you guys some tips. Another question was specifically about stats here. As you can see, I've been putting more and more and more into power, and my recommendation is to do so until you get to 100 power. Once you hit 100 power, you're going to want to start putting stats into agility until it meets 100 power. And then at that point, you should be close to level 60 to 80, somewhere in there. And once they are even, you're going to want to keep them even for the rest of your gameplay. If you're going to go DPS, you will never put stats in stamina. If you're going to go tank, you're going to want to hit level 100 first, and then do a stat reroll, which I can show you where that is right here. And you'll pay 200 gems to do that. But the key on that is you only want to pay the 200 gems one time. So make sure you know what you're going to want to do before you pay those gems, because gems are not easy to come by. Let's see about our gauntlet here. I also have a couple special shoutouts to do. I've had a lot of players friend me in game and tell me that they appreciate what I do, etc. And it means a lot. I appreciate you guys sending in. Oh, looks like I already have my gramps. So I just need a shrump now, I believe. So I already have my gramps. Yeah, I just need a shrump. And I can make a shrimps. Be really well off. I'll show you the importance of the tank here. It's really amazing. So we put the tank in the front. And we're off. And I usually just auto this. I do it on an easier difficulty just so I can farm free experience. I'm going to dive into the document here. First, want to do a shout out to Renzo. He added me in game, and we had the conversation as you can see here. And basically, just overall thankful for seeing the leveling videos and such. So I wanted to share that. At least some people are finding them useful. Glad to hear that. And then down here, special shout out to DXL337. And he asked the questions below. What familiars to get? We just discussed that. When should we start allocating stats to stam or agility? We discussed this. What is the optimal path to get to raid 1? I would say that I personally was roughly level 60 when I got to raid 1. I wouldn't say that's a standard you should hold yourself to, but if you are struggling, the same thing applies as far as just going back to your last heroic dungeon and just continuing to grind and grind and grind. When you say optimum path, that's the best I could tell you, is just focus on leveling rather than gear. Another question I had asked was, should I open the epic chests that I find in the dungeons? You'll notice red chests eventually, and you can open them with a skeleton key, but I highly recommend you do not open them in anything at all, and save your skeleton keys until you're in raid 1. Because once you're in raid 1, you're going to find gear that's a lot higher in stats than all the gear that you've got up to that point. And if you spend it in, say, Zone 3 because you're excited to do so, that gear is going to be useless in 10 levels, so keep that in mind. Last question here, how should we spend our gems? Maybe a poor man's middle class and upper class gem guide. Okay, so as far as your gems, as you know, they are very hard to come by. They take time, unless you're paying cash, real life money. They just take time. So if you do not pay anything in the game, I, for example, got to level 150 on my main without paying a single dollar. I just enjoyed the game. I focused solely on leveling. I let the gear come to me whenever it came, and I wasn't bothered by the people around me that had better gear or better pets. I just let them come naturally. Make sure I answer this correctly. How should we spend our gems? That's totally up to you. I, for example, would specifically save up until I'm up to 1,600 gems as a new player, because by the time you hit 1,600 gems, you are going to be eligible for legendary familiars. And if you encounter a legendary familiar and you don't have 1,600 gems, you're either going to have to abandon him, which is going to haunt you for the rest of the time you play the game, trust me, or you're going to have to pay real life money, roughly 20 bucks or so, to purchase that legendary familiar. And it's your choice. It's your money, it's your account. You do what you want. But if you want to do it free, just save your gems. If you get to 1,600, act as if that's the zero marker. As you can see right here, I just fell a little short of 1,600, but I always keep 1,600 on me in case I see that familiar, because that allows you to bribe them and pay gems instead of using gold. As you can see there, I don't know if you caught that, we got the schematic for Shramps, so we may be making him soon. Looks like we got a friend here, level 18. Try to add him. Always there to try to help somebody out. Alright guys, don't want to make the video way too long here. I just wanted to show you guys a couple shoutouts. I'll try to do the shoutouts more often. I do see a lot of friends in game that will come out and say some thoughtful words and some good stuff. So I'll try to do the shoutouts more often. I appreciate you guys' input and your questions. If there's anything else, do let me know. And yeah, we'll just finish out this dungeon here and call it a day. So here's a great example. Here's an epic. We could pay 4K and have a 15% chance. Here's a really great familiar, so I think I will wager the gold. But I would never bribe him. He will come eventually via gold. I personally would never bribe this. Can we do it on camera? Oh, we got him. Amazing. That's amazing. Let's take a look at him. I'm glad I did not stop that video short. So we got a blubber. That's pretty awesome. So he's going to have a pretty high health pool, just like our tank. And looks like he's got some pretty cool attacks. So we got an epic at level 36. That's pretty awesome. No complaints there. No complaints at all. I was going to show you a couple familiars I have on this character. Recently caught Robbie. He's pretty cool. He's got 40% crit. This guy's on my raid team as well. Quinoris. Alright, so now that I'm going to end the video, probably off camera, I'm just going to hammer out the last couple flags here and start Zone 3. I will probably take the next couple days to just only do heroics, so I can level up to, say, probably level, I'd say 50 or so, before I even start Zone 3. I'm just going to level on level. That way I can show you guys videos efficiently and just kill all the flags. Once you understand that there's no need to progress super fast and get to endgame, just take your time leveling. The game will be a lot more fun. But I think that answers all the questions, guys. Again, thanks for reaching out and asking all the questions. Please leave your comments below, maybe an in-game name, and I'll give you guys a shout out. And please add me in-game and I'll help you guys level. This is McProseph signing off. Oh, can we get the Trumps on camera? The Gramps, I guess. We got him. Amazing. And this is like my 4th ult. He just has the best luck ever. It's amazing. My first guy just failed miserably. Alright guys, take care. McProseph out. And see you in the next one.